Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Valhelsia 2. How are you guys doing today? How's life? That is not a flower. Also, you should remember that this is not even my favorite flower in real life. Anyways, I was out adventuring and I thought I should bring you in because I found the most important thing that you can find in Minecraft. A purple bed. This is the most beautiful bed. And it's mine. Since this is going to be the episode that we're going to start our civilization by destroying bugs, I was actually out looking for andesite, because literally everything that you need to create from create is going to require andesite, and we have found some. Honestly speaking, I have no idea how much we're going to need, but I'm guessing 4 stacks should be more than enough to get started, obviously. Villages are very useful now. We also take the spruce trapdoors because they are expensive, but beautiful. I had a guilty conscience that I'm stealing from the village and I tried to save this house. It's unsavable. This is new. There's a beekeeper and he has honey bread. Okay, so I'm back from adventuring and we are filthy rich. And we also have a beautiful bed, so we're going to put it here. And you are garbage. I wanted to go on a very small session of mining and I noticed that there is something called a tool belt, which seems you can combine it with a pouch and put it in your bubble slot. So do I get an extra inventory space or no? Okay, so what you have to do is that you sneak right click with the belt, you put your tools, and then if you put it in your belt slot, you should be able to use it. Oh yeah, that's nice. But we probably should not do that with the sword, because we need the sword. I was doing some mining and we have found a dungeon. I think this is the dungeon from Quark, and it was not a very good idea to jump in. It seems that the perimeter has been secured a bit. This is a huge dungeon. So let us see what kind of loot we're going to get. Not bad. Steel nuggets. Ancient tome. Looting tree. We get more steel and some more mana steel. I think there's a mine shaft up there and this guy fell down. And it has nice stuff. What I do not understand is that why this dungeon is so huge. This one looks interesting. We're at the lowest level and it seems there is something which is locked and guarded by silverfish. That's just a creeper head, not the actual creeper. I just wanted to do a little bit of mining, but now my backpack is full of loot. I have done a fair bit of mining and we have a decent amount of resources. And I was thinking we should start getting into Botania, because Botania is incredibly useful if you start it early on. It's not going to be incredibly useful when you're at endgame. And just in case you're wondering, I'm trying to make some floral fertilizer so that we would be able to get some mystical flowers. I would assume that this is far more efficient than going around the world and picking them up one by one. Oh, in the new update they added stone swords. Interesting. The first thing that we're going to need is a Petal Apothecary, because as you guys remember, the first flower that we need to craft is a pure daisy. And we might as well try to make 2 of them. One of them is going to be for living wood and the other one is going to be for living rock. I was worried that during the new update something has changed, but no, my particles were off. The first badge is now ready. And let's make the second badge. For generating mana, obviously we're going to go with End of Flames because that is literally the easiest one. Was it light gray or gray? Light gray. We're going to need more petals, but for the moment we're going to start with 3 or 4 of them. And in order to generate mana, of course, the first thing that we're going to need is a mana pool, a mana spreader, a golden pressure plate, and 1 dropper. Also, there is something that I keep finding underground, which is called fiery glass. It seems to me that it's like coal, so maybe we should be able to burn that? Cause coal is more important because we're going to need that in order to make steel. We put the dropper, pressure plate, the fuel, and the end of flames. So if we put 1 on top, will you start burning it? Yes. Very good. It's not like we have millions of these guys, but burning them is not a waste. Because I do not see that many crafting recipes for it. Of course, the reason that we got into Botania really early on is because we found 16 mana steel, which is not that bad. We can get geared up. And there seems to be something wrong with this golden pressure plate, because it's not replacing the items. Weird. Anyhow, now that we have a fair bit of mana, we can have 1 mana pearl, make a mana tablet, and upgrade it into a ring. We should also invest in a runic altar and 1 more mana spreader. We're just going to need 1 feather. The first thing that we're going to craft is a Sojourner's Sash, which is going to require a rune of air and a rune of earth. And as you guys know, in order to make a rune, we're going to need the runic altar and we're going to need a mana steel and a mana powder. So here is our mana powder. We already have the mana steel, and I think the rune of earth was mushroom, mana powder, mana steel, stone, and block of coal. Yes. And when it is ready, you just drop a living rock and right click. Our first rune and the second one. And here is our Sojourner Sash. Of course, at this very moment it's completely useless because we do not have any mana in our band of mana. So let us take a little bit from our mana pool, because you just need to have a little bit of mana in your ring. The sash itself is not going to consume anything. But now we can walk faster, we have step assist, and as usual, we can jump 2 blocks. If we want to get the best tools from Botania, we need to get Terrasteel. The thing is, this is not working very well, so we need to fix this one first. Because I don't know, maybe they have changed something with the pressure plate, or I'm doing it wrong. I'm not sure. I'm guessing let's try with a hovering hourglass, which is something that we can make. You go over there, 1 piece of redstone, and we give you 16 sand. Yeah, every 16 seconds is too much. We do it every 8 seconds. Because you should remember that we're not rich people and we should not waste the fuel. If I'm not wrong, we should have everything in order to make the plate. Very good. For the moment, we can just set it up over here, right? We don't have to be organized. Let us also craft 2 sparks. We're out of gold nuggets, so that when the time comes, we can make Terrasteel. That setup is going to take a very long time and it is going to require a lot of fuel. So I was thinking, maybe we should get into automating a tree farm or something? There is something called a tree cutter and it is from Engineer's Decor. Maybe we should get into that, because it's not expensive anyways. On the tooltip it says that it is going to chop down a tree which is just in front of it. So if we have a sapling over there and grow it, will you do something? It's actually not that bad. The question is, will you also do it with a big one? Oh yeah, you do. Nice. The thing is, it's actually going to require some RF in order to work, so we need to make more solar panels. Also, another flaw that it has is that you cannot grow the tree right next to it, so you have to replace it every single time. By the way, I'm fully aware that in this mod pack we have something called a Bonsai Pot, but the thing is, this is not a very creative setup and it's just 1 block, so let's make a bigger farm. I have noticed that there is something called a fertile soil, and I'm assuming it's exactly like the fertile soil which we had from random things, and we should be able to have a tree farm using these guys. Yes, exactly, it is going to plant the saplings on its own, and all we need is our tree cutter. The tree cutter itself is not going to gather the drops, so basically everything falls on the ground. We're going to need a hopper hawk. And a hopper hawk is basically like your vacuum hopper, but it's from Botania, so it's nice. I'm not exactly sure what is the maximum range of a hopper hawk when we do not have access to mana, but I'm guessing if we put it here, that should cover everything, right? And it should put everything inside this chest. It will not reach over there, so we're just gonna put it in the center. Yeah, it does work. That's nice. I was looking in the JEI to see if there is something which will help accelerating plant growth, and yes there is. There is a lamp of growth from Druidcraft. And then in the recipe I realized that it is going to require something called the rock root. I did not know what it is, but I figured out this biome, the black forest thingy, is actually from Druidcraft. So I came down here, I did find 1 ore, which gave me 3 pieces, and I found another one over here, which gave us 2 pieces. The question is, can we make it? Yes. It is going to increase the growth within a 5x5 area, so if we put it here, it should work? Maybe? I honestly have no idea if it's working faster or not, but it says it does. Yeah, actually it does, all of them are growing. Nice. Of course, now that it's working relatively fast, maybe we should make it much more efficient and convert it into a charcoal factory by adding a furnace. There is a furnace from Engineer's Decor, so let's use that one. But this is a powered furnace and it is going to require RF. Engineer's Decor also gives us a solar panel, which I would assume goes well with this one. So let us make that. It is going to require a little bit of lead, and since my furnaces are busy, I'm the furnace. Can I just put you on the top, or you look weird? Yes, you do look weird. It's honestly not that bad. Okay, so I spent a little bit of time trying to make our charcoal farm a bit less boring. Our lamp of growth is now in the center, so it's powering every single sapling, and we're getting trees at a very fast rate. These tree cutters are going to need power if you want them to work really fast. If you do not provide them with power, they will work very slowly, but the speed is fine by me. Also, I'm using these upgraded fences, but I don't know what's upgraded about them, because you can technically jump. Oh, I can jump 2 blocks, I forgot. Anyway, the trees are chopped down, and then the rest of the magic happens down here. We have a floating hopper hog which is gathering every single drop from our farm up here, and it is only putting the logs inside this hopper. And just in case you didn't know, if you want to set a filter for hopper hog, all you need to do is to put an item frame on the inventory and specify which items should go inside. So basically the log goes here and the rest comes here. We have our electric furnace over here which is converting the logs into charcoal, and it is being powered by 3 solar panels. The thing is, I actually thought these guys are generating 256 RF per tick, but it's not, it's 32. And I always make that mistake, but it's fine because 3 of them is powering this guy. Also, if you look closely over here, you might see a gauge, and that determines how fast the furnace is going to work. And obviously the faster it works, the more RF it's going to need. And we don't have that much RF, so it's working at medium speed. Anyway, everything comes through a conveyor belt, we drop it into a hopper and into a drawer. Later on, when we have more resources, I can make more solar panels and the furnace will work much faster. But for the moment, I'm happy with it. And yes, I do understand that this is not very efficient, but it's fun. Efficient setups are always not that fun. Anyhow, now that our problem with charcoal has been solved, we can start upgrading our mana generation. And I was hoping we can start making some lenses. We're going to make a velocity and potency. And thankfully we do have a slime ball, so we can make a composite lens which is potency and velocity. And that should help our mana spreader to work much faster. I would hope. Yes, it is working much faster. We can reduce the timer, I guess. And since 1 terasteel is going to require half a mana pool, I think we have more than enough to make the first one. So mana diamond, mana pearl, and mana steel. Yes, our first terasteel. I might have forgotten that this is 1.15 and we have those guys. But it should be relatively easy to get rid of them. Hello. And bye. And we did not get the curse because technically we didn't kill them. They just took fall damage. I think this mod pack has seasons, because the leaves look different. I did notice that our mana pool has enough mana, so we should be able to make 1 more terasteel. If we get 1 more terasteel, we can actually get the Terra Shatterer. Nice. As usual, I also made a slight miscalculation. A Terra Shatterer is going to require 4 terasteel, not 3. But personally, I'm perfectly okay with that because in the next 20 minutes, we should be able to get another one. Maybe. I have also noticed that we have 30 levels of experience, and if we manage to make a set of bookshelves, we can do a level 30 enchantment. The problem is, we don't have leather. So we're going to use an alchemy catalyst, we put it under our mana pool, and now if we drop rotten flesh, we should get leather, because we already have a crazy amount of sugarcane, and that is 15 bookshelves. Very good. They have made enchanting something incredibly complicated, but in any case we don't have the material to craft any of them, so I'm guessing these will do. It's not half full, maybe 5 more minutes. Of course we can help it with our band of mana. Just a little bit. Our mana pool is 50% full, and this is going to be our final terasteel. For the Terra Shatterer, not in general. Yes. We barely made it. We need some living rock. I forgot. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Terra Shatterer. It's a garbage Terra Shatterer, but it is a Terra Shatterer. This enchantment lets you to mine really fast, but you can never mine instantly. So it's not really good. Should we get a book? Yeah, a book is much better. Now it gives you efficiency 5. Okay. I have no idea why it's going to give us efficiency 5 with the first try, but it's okay. We just need 3 levels. Why do babies exist? Just to clarify, I meant baby skeletons. Baby humans are fine. We are almost there. Yes. Level 30. I just want my efficiency 5. Yes. And soulbound. Okay, that's actually nice. While we are here, we also put the unbreaking. Alright guys, I also went up ahead and made myself a mana steel armor. This is like iron armor, but it has auto mending. So if it takes damage, it will repair itself. As long as you have mana in your band of mana. Whenever we had enough terasteel, we're also going to upgrade it into terasteel armor. But for the moment, this will do. I know what you're thinking, Lash. What the hell is that? What did you just make? This is our brand new Afk Fish Farm, which is down there. We're still on Minecraft 1.15.2, so Afk Fish Farms are still valid. I do understand that this is a very stupid way of gathering resources, but the thing is, I'm really poor, and this mod pack has seasons, and you cannot grow crops even with bone meal. So I needed to gather some fish, but luckily we also got a lot of loot crates from aquaculture too, and some of them are Neptune's bounty. So maybe we're going to get something incredibly useful out of them. Apparently now you have to place them down and open them as a chest. Ooh, that's nice. And we got 2 of them. We still have 3 more. Neptunium ingots, which is always nice, the chest plate, and the hoe. The Neptunium hoe itself is actually very useful because if you hoe the ground, it will be fertile. Always. Oh, we also got a lockbox. which gave us an iron. Okay, and these are the messages in the bottle. Okay, just random ones. Anyhow, I have discovered that fish fillets are a good source of food. When you're fishing, it's the best time to contemplate your life choices, and I have realized I made a very stupid one. I spent a lot of unnecessary resources in order to make bookshelves, while I could have just done this, which gives you a level 30 enchant. Until we get to the rest of the project, I thought it's a good time that I address some of your comments on the previous episode. Yes, I do understand that the mining gadget from Direwolf is in the pack and it's very convenient, but the thing is, this is Minecraft. I really prefer to use a pick. Another comment that I got from you guys was to get into Silent Gear because it's basically like Tinker's Construct without the smeltery, which honestly I do not understand what's the point of having a Tinker's Construct mod without the smeltery, but you know, I did not come up with the mod. We are going to get into this later, but not for the pickaxe or anything, maybe just for the sword. Because in any case, in order to make something worth your time, you need to be very rich. Before we finish off today's episode, there are a bunch of things that I want to do. The first thing that I want to do is to get into Create, because there is something in Create called brass, and you kind of need that in order to start automating everything. So if we get this sooner, it's better. So I do have a gearbox over here, and I would assume if we put a water wheel, this should start working. Good. Now that we are generating kinetic energy, it's time to transfer that kinetic energy to machines that we want to use. If we use a bigger gear like this, we should be able to increase that kinetic energy. We just need a smaller one over here. It does not look significantly faster, but if we add another gear, you can see the difference. This one is rotating much faster than this one. So this one has more energy, I would assume. In order to make brass, we are going to require crushed zinc and crushed copper, and for that we're going to need a millstone. I have read the tooltips, and it seems in order to power this guy there are two methods. One of them is to use a vertical gearbox, because this thingy is on top and we can put the millstone on top, and you can see it's rotating. But the downside to this guy is that you cannot put a hopper underneath and you cannot automate it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to keep that vertical gearbox and we're going to add one cog. So now if we put the millstone over here, it should be powered. Very good. And the hopper goes on the bottom. So now if I drop zinc, you should give me crushed zinc one day. It's incredibly slow, but it does give us crushed zinc. This really got complicated really soon. I need to start making a mechanical mixer, and it seems we are going to need something called polished rose quartz, which is just quartz and redstone, okay? And then I need to sandpaper it. This is a very weird mod. I have to put it in my offhand and then hold it? You have to hold it until it's ready. Okay, here is an electron tube, here is a mechanical mixer, and a basin. The question is, how do we power you? Okay, you do have a cog. So can I put you like here? Yes. And it says that the basin has to be with 1 block gap. Is this 1 block gap? Yeah, I would assume. It appears that this mechanical mixer is not rotating with enough speed. I did add another cog, and now the speed should be okay, overstressed. Okay, so this looks like a very rudimentary and primitive technology mod, but it's actually really complicated. There is a huge logic behind it, which if you understand it, then life will be simple. But the thing is, I could not find a very good tutorial which explains every single mechanic. Normally it's like, oh, I made a machine, copy it, which is really not something that I was looking for. So let me try and explain to you what I understood so far. There are two aspects in this mod that we have to pay attention to. One of them is speed, and the way that you measure the speed is a speedometer. And if I put it right next to the source, it will tell us that our speed is 5 RPM. And since we are playing with the cogs, if I put it over here next to this gearbox, it will tell us that the rotational speed is 10 RPM. And if I put it on this one which I just made and it's rotating much faster than this one, it is telling us it's 40 RPM. So when we put the mixer down and it was telling us that the speed is not going to be enough, it's because that this guy is going to require at least 30 RPM. So over here, it should be fine. And now we're going to talk about the second aspect, which is very important. If I put this guy down, everything will lock. And this is where the engineer's goggles is going to help you. It is going to tell us that the stress level on the machine is too much. And what that basically means is that your power generation setup, or the kinetic generator, the water wheel, or the windmill that you're going to have later on is not generating enough rotational force. And the way to fix it is to add more. So you see, now everything is working. Now that we know how everything works, let us see if we can make some brass. It seems we can. Yes. The blaze rod is supposed to be a catalyst, so it's not being consumed. Oh, and we get 2. Nice. Now that I actually made it, I forgot why I needed brass. but it's okay, we have it anyways. Just before we wrap up, let us also try and fix the food issue. The thing is, in this mod pack we have seasons and you cannot grow crops out of their season, and you cannot use bone meal in order to get wheat during winter. So I was hoping that if we get a garden cloche from immersive engineering, we can bypass the seasons. But in order to make a garden cloche, we need creosote oil, and for that we need a coke oven. This is going to be our backyard and we're going to use it for anything which we don't know where to put it at this very moment. Here is the coke oven, and we just have to wait for it to make us a little bit of coal coke and a bit of creosote oil. Yeah, we literally have one bucket, which is nothing. I made an engineer's workbench, I made a blueprint for components, and what we have to do is to make some vacuum tubes. And here is a garden cloche. I want to use this area as our farming area, so I'm going to put the garden cloche over here. This is not going to be its permanent location because we need to change it, we need to automate it, and we need to make it look nice. And for the moment we're going to use a coal generator from RF Tools, which goes on top, and we give it coal. We also need to provide this guy with water, but unfortunately I fell into a hole. So I did make a sink, and finally they have removed that unhygienic fish, and we're going to use fluid pipes from refined pipes. And they do not extract on their own, so I did make a basic extractor, and we have to somehow put it over here. Yes, it's extracting water. Very good. So here is dirt, here is seed. Do you work? Yes, it does. Very good. So next episode I'm hoping that we would be able to make a setup using Create in order to automate the production of bread. We will see how it goes. But anyway guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.